years and years. It's one of the reasons I left my company, Cigna, because I knew that the companies deserve that anger, and it's partly and largely because of the decisions by bureaucrats of these companies to deny and delay care. And it has reached the point that it really is an epidemic in this country. People have insurance, are paying premiums every single month. And they not only are having to pay higher and higher premiums, but the value of their policies decreases every year. They're paying high out-of-pocket costs, and these companies are denying medically necessary care, making it more difficult for doctors to do their jobs and making it impossible for people to get the care that they need.
Does it feel to you like there is some momentum? The terrible act of violence aside, do you feel like there is some impetus to actually change the system now?
I do. And I began doing this work when Congress was debating what became the Affordable Care Act, which did some good, but it also helped create these monstrous companies. United Health Group is the 5th largest company now in America. 47 million people are enrolled in that company's health plans in one way or another. I'm just returning from Washington again and talking to lawmakers, encouraging them to get serious about reforming the system of health insurance in this country. And we're seeing bipartisan support. Hopefully there will be some good that comes of this. People are hurting day in and day out. People are not getting the care that they need. As violent as this act was, these companies are perpetrating violence against Americans every single day when they're not getting the care that they need.
Yeah, Taylor Lorenz was on yesterday saying exactly that. So I want to read you something because I have a problem with what Blue Cross said. There have been reports that Blue Cross was pulling back on providing insurance for anesthesia for certain procedures. So in the wake of all of this, Blue Cross, a lot of people felt bent the knee. And they came out with a statement saying, no, we're not bending a knee because of Brian Thompson. They said this: there has been significant widespread misinformation about an update to our anesthesia policy. As a result, we have decided to not proceed with this policy change. And this is the key point. To be clear, it never was and never will be the policy of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to not pay for, and these are the key words, medically necessary anesthesia services. So, Wendell, what I'm wondering is, I don't think they've changed anything. If they say medically necessary, they define what's medically necessary. So they really haven't changed anything because they still control that.
You're exactly right. They use that term all the time. Medically necessary is important in health insurance coverage, but these companies decide what is medically necessary. It doesn't matter what your policy says. You may be eligible for a liver transplant, for example, but some bureaucrat, some insurance company like Anthem will decide whether or not they think it is medically necessary for you. So it's very arbitrary, very subjective, and it's another way that these companies are not giving people access to care that they need, and it is why these companies are so profitable. So it's really important for Americans to understand we are in this predicament, we're in this situation because we have a Wall Street driven healthcare system, or at least a system of health insurance. And the way these companies reward their shareholders is by denying and delaying care for people who need it.
Okay, Wendell, we so appreciate it. This must, on a level, feel, and I don't even want to use the word, but I can't think of a different one, satisfying that people are finally talking about this in a very serious way, and insurance companies are being forced to listen. This is a terrible event, but it feels like maybe they're finally listening.
It might be. This could be a turning point. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that it might be. Certainly, it might be a turning point for people who can control or hold these companies accountable to pay attention. And they are policymakers or members of Congress or state legislators. There are our employers. So I'm hopeful. It's sad that it took something like this to get this kind of reaction, but people they've had this pent up anger for so long.
Yeah.
So let's hope.
Okay, Wendell, really appreciate the time.
Wendell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Okay, we're taking a break. When we come back.